Alright guys, we are back for another video on Talk Sooty. As you can see by the thumbnail and the title, we are doing a preview on the game that is commencing tomorrow afternoon at 4:30. It is the Carabao Cup final, Manchester United versus Newcastle United. What a game it's going to be. Obviously I have my biases because I am a United fan, but I'm going to try and look at it as neutral as possible, kind of to a certain extent, and then I'll probably start talking about United a bit more. But it's a good game. It's going to be a very, very good game, I think. Newcastle obviously solid defensively. In recent times, they've obviously been struggling to score a few goals, and that's why they've been dropping a few points here and there. United, on the other hand, we've been winning games, scoring goals. We've been conceding now and again some sloppy ones in the past few games, but they have been playing a lot better than Newcastle, I would say. Even if you're just going off Premier League form, in the last 5, Newcastle have got 4 points, and that win was 5 games ago. And then the last 4 games, they've not won a single game. They've drawn 3 and lost 1. Whereas United in the last 5 games have won 3, drawn 1, and lost 1, and their loss was 5 games ago. They're now, in the last 4 games, they've got 3 wins and 1 draw. So the form-wise, is definitely in favour of United. Newcastle have obviously been dropping points. They've been struggling to score. They nearly lost to Bournemouth. They only didn't lose that game because of a Kieran Trippier block off the line, which is a very good interception or block from him. And he's a very good player. He's a danger player for Newcastle. He definitely is. Looking at Newcastle and looking at their strengths, obviously they've got Bruno G back, I believe, unless he's injured, but I don't think he is. He is back. Obviously, he's been had his suspension. Personally, I think it should be Bruno G that is suspended for this game, and Pope should be able to play. But the rules are the rules. They're stupid. But we're not. That's for a completely another video. Yeah, so Bruno G's back. He is probably their most influential player, and he is probably one of the main reasons why they have been dropping points in recent games, because he fits everything together. He's such a good player. He's one of the best midfielders in the league, and that's not me over egging the pudding. It's true. He's a very good technical player. He's got that aggressive South American passion, as I like to say, similar to like a Licha Martinez, a Casemiro. Obviously, he's not on those levels, but he's a very elite operating midfielder, 100%. So he's definitely one of the danger mans. Also, the person I talked about blocking the clearance, Kieran Trippier, he is definitely also one of their danger men, because he is doing very, very well indeed. If I just go over here and have a look at the players, no, that doesn't matter actually. If I go the last result again, when was the last win? The last win was against the last win was against Southampton. Obviously in the second leg and the first leg, both of those games they won. Sean Longstaff got 2 goals for them, so maybe he could be a bit of a difference maker in the midfield for Newcastle. But obviously, going back to Kieran Trippier, we know he's got good delivery. He's a seasoned professional. He's been out to Atletico Madrid, won the title under Simeone. He knows how to defend, and he's probably been the best fullback. He's probably been the best right back in the Premier League this season. I mean, Dallow's been good, and Wan-Bissaka for United have been good. They've had their own moments, but Kieran Trippier, I think, by far being the best right back in the league so far. So he's definitely a danger man. Joelinton, he's a workhorse. He'll get in there, get in your face. He's physical, and like you said, he'll work his socks off. He's like Wout Weghorst, but better, and plays in the midfield, even though we have seen Wout Weghorst play in the midfield recently. But yeah, he's definitely more suited to that midfield spot. It was a great decision to move him from being a striker to a midfielder, because he's turned himself into one of the better midfielders also in the league, just because you can see it in his game. He's just a great player, great physicals. He's got good passing as well, and he's got that intensity that you need to play in that position. So another good player from them. Callum Wilson, if he's fit, I don't know if he is fit. I don't know his injury not injury crisis, injury status, because he can be injured sometimes, but he might be playing in the final. If he does, it's another player we need to watch out for. Same as Saint Maximin. If he's playing, if he's starting, another danger man. And Miguel Almiron, even though he's dropped off in the last few games, he did score in his last game, I think. It might have been his last game or the one before. No, it wasn't last game because they lost 2-0 to Liverpool, but I think it was the game before. He scored when they drew to Bournemouth, I believe. Let me just double check that quickly. I believe it was when they drew to Bournemouth. Yeah, it was. He scored 40 plus 2 minutes. So he's also got goals. They have got goals in the team when you individually break it down, but as a collective, they're just not firing on all cylinders at the moment, and you never know. They might be they will be up for this cup final because it's not. I believe they've not won a trophy since 1955, I believe, and I think it's 1955. I might be wrong, but that's definitely one of the trophies they won in '55. So it's been years, absolute years for them. Obviously, it's been a few years for United as well, but sticking to Newcastle, they've got good players, danger men, and they don't concede much because Sven Botman, I can't talk about Newcastle without talking about him. He is class. He's a rock solid. I mean, I've heard a few Newcastle fans say he's a Rolls Royce. I mean, he's not quite Rafael Varane, but no, being serious, he is a very, very good solid centre half. Tall, strong. I don't know pace wise. I don't know if he's rapid. He might just be like decently paced, but definitely a good player, and definitely that's another big reason why they don't concede. But obviously, Nick Pope got sent off in his last game against Liverpool on last weekend, doing that stupid coming out of his box, trying to head it, falling on the ball, then just clawing it into him. Don't know what he's doing. Don't know what he's playing at, but he's a big miss, and he's another big reason why they keep so many clean sheets and why they don't concede as much as most teams in the league. Because goals against, they're the lowest in the league. So is that because of Pope, or is it because of Botman or Trippier or Dan Burn, who plays at the back as well? Shaw, I don't know. But Mick Pope is going to be a huge miss for them because they're going to have Loris Karius, and his last professional game, I believe, I might be incorrect, but his last professional game was that Champions League final, I believe. And we all know what happened there, so will he feel the pressure? He'll definitely be feeling it at some point, 100%. Definitely be feeling it because, like I say, you don't have a game like that. That stays with you forever. And I think he has spoken about the abuse he got from it at some points in like a year or two ago. But yeah, he'll definitely be feeling the pressure, 100%. Hopefully, no, not hopefully. Looking as a United fan, I hope he has a stinker again. But looking at it from a neutral's point of view or a Newcastle point of view, you hope he can pull himself out of the fire. I don't know how you'd put it. You just want him to be on top form, really. You want him to be on top form. But like I said, he might crumble. And if he does, could be a good night, Irene, when you've got players like Marcus Rashford firing shots at you from wherever he wants, because he's got the confidence. If he gets a sniff, and I'm talking the littlest sniff you can get, he will shoot. And he's got an absolute rocket on him. He's got that knuckle technique where sometimes he'll shoot and he'll try and bounce it in front of the keeper just before it's going to go into the net, and it just makes it awkward for keepers. So that is definitely a worry for Newcastle. I would say it's definitely a worry because, like I said, he's not. I don't think he's played since the World Cup, not the World Cup final, the Champions League final when he made those two clangers. So definitely something to look out for Newcastle. But I think everyone knows that, and I think Newcastle's in the back of the mind are probably worried about that. Loris Karius playing, but moving on to United now. Where do I start? Because we are on. Because obviously I'm a United fan. I want to try and be as unbiased as possible, but we are on red hot form at the moment. Red hot form. Just come off a win against Barcelona in the Europa League where we absolutely smashed them in the second half. First half, you'd probably give it to them because after the penalty we were rubbish, and Newcastle can build on that. If they can get an early goal, maybe they can get another or hold out, because we know they've got a very good defensive record. They've only conceded 15 in the league, and that is the lowest out of any other team. They've only lost twice in the league, and that's both to Liverpool. Obviously, we drew to them at home. I mean, personally, I thought we should have won that game. There was a couple missed chances from a couple of people. I remember Rashford missed the header, and there's a couple other chances as well. But yeah, we are on great form. De Gea's on form, making great saves. He made a great save against Barcelona with that Koundé header when he ran over Jadon Sancho at the back post. I think he's on red hot form. He just saving everything. He nearly saved a penalty. He got a good hand to it, but he fell for Lewandowski's little penalty run up. And then back four has been solid. We didn't really look like conceding against Barcelona after the penalty, I've got to be honest. Even though they were the better team at the end of that first half, we didn't really look like conceding in the second half. Like I said, when you've got Martinez and Varane, they've got so much pace that you can play such a high line, and it just suffocates teams. You saw it in the second half. If anyone watched the game, you just saw it. The first 20-25 minutes, well, probably the first half an hour of that second half, we were pressed up so high and we're just suffocating them. They just couldn't get out. People like Fred, when you're playing at such a high intensity, you've got Fred, and then we've got Sabitzer who can come off the bench, or he might even start this game. And you've got Casemiro, who's just so intelligent. He just knows where to put himself in the right places at the right time to pick up the ball, to make a good challenge, and hopefully not get sent off like he did a few weeks back against Crystal Palace. It was, wasn't it? Yeah, and then we've got the fullbacks. Talking about the fullbacks, Luke Shaw looks absolutely unbelievable. He's been probably the best left back in the Prem this season. Better than Robbo, better than, I don't even know who City are playing at left back now. Is it still Rico Lewis or is it still Bernardo Silva? I mean, the Pep roulette in it, so I don't know. But personally for me, Luke Shaw's been the best left back in the league this season. And then I don't know if it'll either be Dalot or Wan-Bissaka. It doesn't matter. They're both playing well. Dalot's not been the same Dalot as he was before his injury, but we all know he's a great player. He's been before the injury. He was having a great season, and then when he did get injured, Aaron Wan-Bissaka thought his United career was done. Maybe just revived it this season. Maybe he might be able to stay for a bit longer. I don't know. I'm not going to talk about that, but he's been playing great. You can see his attacking prowess has just increased so much. He's just so much better going forward now. His link-up play, if you saw against, who did we play on the weekend? We played Leicester when we won 3-0. Him and Sancho, the little 1-2s, it was like prime Messi and Dani Alves. But in all seriousness, he's definitely improved his going forward. Obviously, we know his weaknesses on the back post. Can get caught out a little bit there. But, well, I mean, hopefully Eddie Hearn and Eddie Howe don't see this. I mean, he'll probably know stuff like that. Most managers do. But whoever it is, I don't really mind who plays there. And then the midfield is probably going to be Casemiro, Fred and Bruno, but maybe it could be Casemiro, Sabitzer, Bruno, just to give Fred a bit of rest. I mean, he might even bench Casemiro, but I think it'd be stupid to do that in a cup final. I don't think he would do either, but you never know. You never know what Ten Hag's got up his sleeve. And I wouldn't even... I mean, if Casemiro wasn't starting, I'd be a bit... that's bold, but I won't doubt this manager. I'd back whatever he wants to do because he just gets so many things right this season. And then Bruno, he's on hot form. Fred is playing well. He's the second half man. He's just... You got some players who are inconsistent, like game to game, but Fred's consistency is half to half nowadays. First half he can be average. Second half he can be Fredaldinho. Like I said the other day at the post-match against the Barca game, he was so good in that second half. He just conducted everything. His intensity and the way you can use him to press up the pitch high, to win balls high at the pitch and create opportunities from their mistakes. And obviously he got himself a goal with the Bruno assist. Who, again, he's a great captain. I think I see a lot of people and a lot of United fans complaining about him last season and a bit this season still. I don't understand it because I think since he has become United's captain, I think we've just gone up another level. I think he's a winner. You can see it. You can see how much it means to him to win games. And I think he's been a great leader for us, to be honest. And then the attacking line, obviously you've probably got the most informed attacker in the world right now. I mean, for me personally, he is the most informed player in the world, full stop. Informed, not the best player in the world, full stop. The most informed player in the world, Marcus Rashford, on that left-hand side, and he might even be playing up front. And you've got options there. You've got Sancho, you've got Anthony who scored against Barcelona, you've got Weghorst, you've got Garnacho. We've got options now. We've got options, and I mean, we've even got Alanga. I mean, I don't know that I think he'll start. I probably won't even get on the pitch, but we have got options now. And it's just how Ten Hag wants to play it. But I think it'll be a great game. I think danger men for United are Rashford, Bruno. I mean, Casemiro's a danger man even though he's playing CDM. Shaw's a danger man, he's playing left back. Dallo can be a danger man if he's playing right back. We've got so many dangerous players that can just flip the switch and they can just become, especially Rashford. He can be out of the game, boom, one touch, through your legs, bang, top right, bottom left, bottom right, wherever you want to put it. Smash it through the keeper's hands, probably. That's the formula. He could just smash it and it'll go in. You see, and then you've got Weghorst who run his socks off. I have a feeling he won't start this game, to be fair. I think it could be Rashford up front, Sancho on the left, Anthony on the right, Bruno in the 10, or Garnacho instead of Sancho, or he might start Weghorst, but like I said, we've got loads of options and there's goals in our team at the moment. And I think it's going to be a great game. I think, personally, I mean, obviously there's bias from my side. I think we are favourites, and if I check the bookies on all the betting websites, we probably are the favourites because we've got the form, but I don't know if this will be a form thing. I mean, I might look stupid, and it probably will be a form thing, and I think we could dust them, and they could maybe score one, and we could score three, and I think could easily be done like that. But there's Newcastle are a problem for United. They've got a good defence, and that can be a problem if Rashford does get pocketed. Where are the other goals coming from? Obviously, we've got good players, but most of our goals do come from Rashford. Obviously, you've got Fred who can score a goal, Bruno could score a goal, Anthony could score a goal, Sancho could score a goal, but like, the defence is good and we've got to be careful of it. I mean, I don't know if you can be careful of a defence, but you've just got to be... You've got to play good. And if we get an early goal, it could change the game because they'll have to push up. And then when you've got pace from Sancho, from Rashford, from Anthony, from Garnacho if he's playing, you can hit him on the break, and we are devastating on the break. If you saw against Barcelona, some of those over-the-top balls, we were getting in behind them all the time. They won't be able to keep up with people like Rashford and Garnacho and Anthony. And Sancho's link-up play could be, if he's playing, could be very influential to break down that low block. I think it'll be a tough game for United, I do, because, like I said, they will defend in numbers and they'll defend strongly. They'll have a good set formation. Keeper could let them down, and I think if some of our players get a sniff of the keeper not being full confidence, I think the United fans will get on him, and then the pressure might sink in, and it could get too much for him, and we could just outscore him and really take control of the game. But I think United have got to be careful. Newcastle have got players of their own. They can sit back and they can hit us on the counter attack if we push up too high. So I think it'd be a great game. Sorry about that. Dog started barking once again. But before I end this video, my prediction for the game is going to be United 3, Newcastle 1. If you're a United fan, if you're a Newcastle fan, if you're a neutral, drop your predictions in the comments. Smash a like button if you enjoyed this video. There will be a post-match. If United lose, if United win, I will be doing a reaction no matter what. So stay tuned for that one. But that's it from me today. Sooty out.